What's cracking, YouTube family? I'm back with another video, and as you can see in the title, I'm going to put in my 2 cents about this whole MVP candidate, winner, runner-up type situation to try and figure out for myself what in the world is going on, and what does it truly mean to be an MVP? Because I'm confused. But either way, before we get started, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the post notification bell so as soon as I drop content, you get alerted. And don't forget to smash that like button so that I can get my just due. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get further back into this topic. So, we'll go ahead and start out this way. Congratulations to Giannis Antetokounmpo for winning this year's MVP. You're a great talent. You are amazing in regards to what you can do when you have the ball, when you don't have the ball, leading your team and such. I get it, you know. And I'm not just saying this, and I'm not going to even. This isn't because because of the fact that I'm a huge LeBron James fan, but let's start with the fact that MVP is the letters stand for Most Valuable Player. Now, there are several ways we can actually quantify what makes a player the most valuable. You know, but as far as a stat, like, filling up the stat sheet and such, I've heard several different ways people put this. I particularly agree with the fact that it doesn't necessarily mean the person who can score the most or who has a certain type of stat. What I feel like, and I'm sure I have a lot of people who agree with me, is the MVP, the most valuable player, should be awarded not to the person who can necessarily fill up the stat sheet, which I say LeBron can do that too, of course, but the most valuable player should go to the person who can. If you take that person off the team, it drastically changes the odds for that team. And there's so much proof that LeBron James should have way more MVPs than he is. I'm not even just talking about this particular year, but I'm just talking about it in general. For the simple fact, and we've even seen it 3 different times. So, actually, we've seen it more than that. So, when he comes into the league in 2003, the Cleveland Cavaliers, I don't know what particular place they were in the league, but I think in that very first season, they win an additional 20-some games because of him being on the team. Then, in 2005, once they get some real chemistry, they start leading the league. They start leading the league in wins, get into the playoffs every single year. So, and not only that, but let's not even forget about the fact that LeBron James has been in the league for 17 years, and he's only missed the playoffs 3 out of those 17 years. Now, and that was the first 2 years in the league, 2003, 2004, and then 2004, 2005, if you want to quantify it that way. And then last year. Only 3 seasons where LeBron didn't make the playoffs on any team that he was on. But to get back to the other point I was trying to make. This dude, once he left the Cavs and got them all the way into the finals and everything, once he left, went to the Heat. What happened to the Cavs? Didn't make it to the playoffs at all. Didn't even get close. In fact, the season right after he left, they barely won 20-some games. The Heat made it to the finals every single year after that. Finals. Granted, they lost in 2011, but that's another story for another video. But made it to the finals every single year, and then actually even won 2 out of the 4, which probably should actually have been 3, but you know, LeBron kind of the Heat kind of let us down in 2011 against the Mavericks, so that was, it's kind of a letdown. But 2 out of 4. Then as soon as he decides to go back to Cleveland, what happens to the Heat? That first season, they don't even make it to the playoffs. Now they have made it, of course, they've made it back since, obviously. But, and right now they're going crazy. But, yeah, as soon as you remove him from the lineup, they go straight back to the playoffs. Crazy, huh? Right? Yeah. All right. So then he goes back to Cleveland. They go from a non-playoff team to going to the finals every year. All 4 years he was there. In the finals. And even one year, grabbing a championship from a seemingly unbeatable team. Then he decides last season to go out west to the Lakers. Injury plagued him that year, so he didn't get a chance to really play a whole lot of games to actually play the case. But we'll say this. Before he got injured, they were a 4th seed. Once he got injured, out of the playoffs. So even though the sample size wasn't enough to get him into the playoffs, his team into the playoffs, that sample size was still enough to show that he got him to the 4th seed, and then when he left, no playoffs. So what does that tell you? And then, now this season, look what he's doing. Year 17, still climbing the all-time scoring list, still climbing the all-time assist list, still climbing the all-time rebounds list. He is in the top 10 of 3 different statistical categories. Now, some people would actually say, yeah, he's got AD, who is also an MVP caliber player. But if we take a look at something, and this is no knock on AD, but I'm just trying to figure out, like my man, because I'm actually going to show LeBron a clip of LeBron here in a second, because he's already expressed the same kind of feeling that I'm trying to figure out how this is judged. But what I'm trying to figure out is, like, I almost got off topic, but AD is an MVP caliber player. But when AD was on the Pelicans and he was the main star, the first round of the playoffs was the furthest they got. And so, to go back to the point, let me let y'all hear straight from LeBron about how I also feel about the situation because I'm confused, and he was too. So we're gonna go ahead and check this out because I am utterly confused.
I'm not saying that the winner wasn't deserving of the MVP, um, but that pissed me off. And I finished second a lot in my career, either from a championship and now 4 times as the MVP.
Yeah, and like I said, he kind of incriminated himself about finishing second, but that's not necessarily neither here nor there because well, that's not really important. I think that I think he was saying that specifically because of like all the votes that he gets about the MVP because he's only got four of them, four season MVPs, two no, three Finals MVPs.
Um, you know, like I said, I never came into this league saying let me be an MVP or be a champion. I've always said I just want to get better and better every single day. And those things you can't take care of yourself. Um, there's some things that's just out of my hands, some things you can't control. But it pisses me off.
So that was only one example. That was actually only focusing on the fact that he said he was pissed off.
The MVP, the Kia MVP award was handed out to Giannis Antetokounmpo, who got 85 out of the 101 first place votes. LeBron got the other 16. He was asked about that after the game.
Here we go.
Pissed me off.
Here we go.
That's my true answer. It pissed me off because out of 101 votes, I got 16 first place votes.
And that is one thing that blows my mind as well. How does this man, how does LeBron James get such an incredibly underwhelming vote? Like, okay, like Giannis won by a landslide. Again, Giannis is a great player. Never going to rob him of that honor. Never. But he got 85 to LeBron 16. How was it such a landslide? That joint should have been like, what, 85 and 16 is 101? That joint should have been 56 and 44. 56 and 45. At worst. There's no way in the world that there should have been that much of a gap between him and Giannis. No way. No way in the world. I think that's what he's talking about in regards to the fact that he was pissed. But let's keep going.
That's what pissed me off more than anything. Not saying that the winner wasn't deserving of the MVP. But that pissed me off. And I finished second a lot in my career, either from a championship and now 4 times as the MVP. Like I said, I never came into this league saying let me be an MVP or be a champion. I've always said I just want to get better and better every single day. And those things you can't take care of yourself. There's some things that's just out of my hands, some things you can't control. But it pissed me off. I don't know how much we are really watching the game of basketball, or are we just in the narration mode, the narrative.
What do you think, Chuck?
Well, I disagree with him. People can.
Whatever. Man, you could tell LeBron was pissed off. I mean, not only did he say it like 4 or 5 times, but you could see it in his body language. Thoroughly pissed off. He was wearing every ounce of that on his sleeve. But you know, I'm with him, man. I don't understand like what particular angle do they judge this based off of? Because LeBron being who he is, you would think that argument would be his team can't go to a playoffs without him. They don't get past the first round without him. But either way, man, I'm gonna let y'all hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Again, if you're new, hit the subscribe button so that you can join the movement, and hit the post notification bell so that you get my content as soon as I drop it. And I'll holler at y'all in the next video.